Welcome back. Today we're going to be finishing the cutting of the dining chair with the final piece, the headboard. Now, this is one of the most complicated, if not the most complicated part in the entire project. So it makes a nice culmination. So let's get cutting. So we're actually cutting the front of the headboard first. Now the reason that we're doing that is because it has some of the only flat surfaces on the part. So when we want to flip it over, that's going to be some of the only places it's going to be able to rest. Now, normally I would oversize the blank a lot more than I did with this, but I had measured incorrectly. And so I only was able to get a wider part and not a longer part. But it ended up cutting with almost no issue. Another thing I would change from this part is actually cutting the profile on the last step instead of on the first side. And I did this, I think, mostly just because I wanted to make sure that everything cut correctly beforehand, and didn't actually think about how that was going to affect the machining. So after it's all done carving, we flip the part and make sure that everything lines up. We then re-zero the part on the same edge that it was zeroed last time. And if you haven't watched Chris's video explaining double-sided machining and some tips and tricks, I highly recommend it, as it's what I used to help make sure that this went as smoothly as possible. The next step is to actually carve the backrest and then put the sliding dovetails in. Now, the sliding dovetails are a little bit more complex than a standard machining profile, because once the carving is done, we need to pocket out where the cutter is going to go so that the cutter can actually travel in there. And then we need to make sure that the cutter plunges outside of the material, drives into the material, and then comes back out. If the cutter doesn't come back out, then we'll end up with a hole and a lot of broken material. Now, after those are done, and this side is done, we can cut it out and put it on the vertical fence. Now, I had to grind off all of the tabs, but I actually could have used the machine to surface most of them off as long as I had a flat surface to touch off on. Now, this is the most complicated fixturing that I have done. The most optimal way to do this would probably be to create basically a storyboard, as Chris likes to call them, with the cup of the front basically just out of MDF, and then clamp it to that. Instead, I had it free-floating, which caused a few small problems, but nothing that we weren't able to account for. But you can see I go a little bit overboard here with all of the clamps and all of the jigs and things that I use to try and keep it as still and as vibration-free as possible. But after we have all of that done, we end up with this. Very nice, very beautiful, super complicated, but ultimately not really that complicated, just complicated on paper. Because once I had all of the drawings and everything done, it was really easy to basically just set it up, with a few minor corrections. This can be extremely fast and done a lot better. But for a first attempt, this is perfectly fine. So with that, we have all of the cutting done. So we now have every single piece of this chair that we need to start assembling. So I'll see you guys next time with the assembly video.